Okay, so thanks to that video, you now know how much Gina and I love football and tailgating. And although each of us like to root for a different team, you can probably relate to how great sports are for bringing our communities together. But there's one sport that we love that you didn't see in the video, and that's cycling. We've been doing it for years, and we've even been fortunate enough to travel overseas to cycle. Not on a motorcycle like Lucas, but self-propelled. We've been fortunate enough to have biked in some beautiful places, such as Ireland, Croatia, Slovenia, and the beautiful Black Hills of my home state, South Dakota. In each of those places, we've encountered some unbelievably steep climbs, the kind that, as I approach them, I wonder, how am I going to reach the summit? Am I going to make this? Do I have enough strength and stamina? After years of experience, I can share a trick with you. The way I get through those climbs is to get into a rhythm. And yes, listening to music can help. Sometimes that music is just in my own head. I still manage to get into a rhythm, and I pedal to the beat. The repetition and rhythm takes your mind off how difficult it is as you keep pushing yourself. The rhythm doesn't stop, so you don't stop. And I compare that to banking. Over the last 5 years, we've had some unbelievably difficult challenges, starting with COVID and PPP, a record rapid rise in interest rates, a record long inverted yield curve, and that doesn't include all the regulatory, well, I'll let you fill in the blank, stuff that was forced on us during that time. I felt like we were on an uphill climb with no end in sight. Yet somehow, we embraced the suck and we powered through it. Our customers and the communities that we serve were the rhythm, music and rhythm that kept us going. You couldn't hear it, but you could feel it. Our community still needed us, even though the road ahead was tough. I feel that right now. We are approaching the peak of the hill. Interest rates are normalizing with a positive yield curve. Regulatory heads are changing. The approach to regulation appears to be improving. We have a legislative agenda that is positive. We are playing offense rather than defense. Our pedaling is getting us somewhere, and we have a good rhythm. You know, usually biking groups cycle together to break the wind. And those of you that watch bike racing, that these large groups of cyclists are called pelotons. Every member of a peloton takes a turn breaking the wind. And it means as a group, you go faster. Being together creates a strength, and having each other's backs means that everybody's speed is amplified. Now let's talk about amplifying. Yes, we have faced headwinds in banking over the last few years, but now we have a clear opportunity to amplify our voices and be heard. I had a senator once tell me, if I don't hear from constituents, I assume they're okay with pending legislation. I assume they have no issues that are concerning them. We know that isn't the case. We know that silence doesn't mean that everything is fine. Members of our communities need us to be speaking up for them, speaking up for community banking. We need to be more vocal, louder, amplified. Every one of you here today is part of the peloton. It takes us all to get into that rhythm that we need to affect change. Today I'm calling on you and all my banking friends here at home to amplify your voices. We have a long list of priorities that your board at ICBA has tasked us to accomplish this year. Every single one of us has to play a role, and ICBA is here for it. ICBA provides the resources and talking points to make sure that we are all playing from the same sheet of music, amplifying our voices. Please encourage your staff at home running the bank while you're here at Music City to be heard. When we speak up in unison, our amplified voices make a difference. Yes, it's going to take effort, and ICBA has consistently been successful when we all work together. We saw it with the exemption from the deposit insurance special assessment. We saw it with the injunctive win in the courts freezing bad overdraft rules by the CFPB. Our recent wins in an extremely difficult banking environment prove that we can succeed if we all move together, focused, with the strength and the rhythm. Our most important few days of amplifying our voices is coming up in May with the ICBA Capital Summit. That's when we make our case in person with our congressional delegation and the heads of the regulatory agencies. Consider coming to Washington, D.C. and bringing some of your staff with you. It's the personal stories, as Dave Fishwick told us yesterday, that make the difference. We are the voice of community banking. And for those of you in this room that have not attended in the past, ICBA makes it extremely easy. And I'd be happy to visit with each of you about effective strategies as you visit the Hill. Beyond advocacy, ICBA has two other pillars: education and innovation. Education and innovation help you get into a rhythm. ICBA's education pillar has improved and expanded in the last couple of years. Take a new look at it and you'll be impressed. Over 120,000 bankers use this program each year. The professional development planner is fantastic. My bank started using this to help our staff grow and develop so that our philosophy of promoting from within is possible. The professional development and certification programs are incredibly efficient, and the regulatory bodies think highly of them. ICBA recognizes that it might be tough to find time for skills learning given our workload and community commitments, and that's why many of these programs can be taken right at your desk. ICBA is always thinking about what comes next, and it's helping us to embrace innovation by providing a platform for companies to work with community banks to develop solutions that allow our staff to get into a better rhythm. Innovation allows us to be more competitive in the markets as well as more efficient. Just take a look at the companies that have come through their accelerator program. It's some pretty impressive stuff. And everyone in this room today is welcome to sit on the many year-round Think Tech seminars that showcase these solutions. Now that we've reflected on advocacy, education, and innovation, I'd love to say what I all know we are thinking. I'm so grateful. Grateful to the ICBA staff for all they do for us each and every day. They are committed to community banking and only community banking. For instance, in just the last few days, we were able to be one of the very first to visit with Treasury Secretary Bessent. This would not have happened without the persistence and reputation of ICBA staff. And I also want to thank each and every one of you and your staff at home for all your work. As Lucas noted yesterday, community banking in the United States is a unique model, not found in the rest of the world. We are the envy of the world because our model is the most efficient at allocating capital in the local communities that we serve. You're here today because you are clearly very proud of your industry. With rhythm and amplification, we will continue to be a strong, vibrant industry, and our country will continue to be an example of how banking can help communities grow. Before I wrap up, I must tell you, I've had people ask me, why did you take this time to do this job as ICBA chairman? First reason is easy. I believe we have a duty to support and defend our industry. I grew up watching my father and grandfather very active in the industry. In fact, my father was one of the co-founders of the Independent Community Bankers of South Dakota. Second, I have a great support system. As I look around this room, I see many of them in there. My board of directors, they're all here today. My senior staff, many of them are here. I see you over there. The rest are at home running the bank in our absence. I have some of the best in the industry on my team. And then my family. My mother and father, Dodie and Boyd Hopkins. My dad is still chairman of the board, and he mentored me in banking. My brother Todd, who is president of our mortgage division, and his wife Maria. And most importantly, my immediate family. My daughter Mackenzie, who is the fourth generation of our family currently involved in the day-to-day at the bank as executive vice president. My son Jared and his wife, who's also named Mackenzie, although it's spelled different, not to be confused. And they also have my only grandchild, Hughes. He'd probably like to come on stage with his grandpa right now if I know him. And my youngest son, Spencer. I'm immensely proud of all of them. And finally, my beautiful wife and best friend, Gina, whose support is vital to me. I couldn't do this without her. These people are what gets me going each and every day. The customers that we serve are why we do what we do each and every day. Their success is vital to the survival of our communities. So let's stay in that rhythm. We can feel it. This convention is here to help us keep that rhythm. And please, come to Washington, D.C. in May to help amplify your message. I promise you, your voice will make a difference. Thank you.